Tonight on Parker and Parker, who else would be the main attraction at today's Gary Williams Pro-Am? Gary will join us live from College Park. He's walking with a purpose. We'll talk live with Troy Yocum, a real-life American hero who is stepping up to help others. And a very special guest joins us on set, his set. Drop Everything Sports Talk with Parker and Parker starts now.
What is it like being here as the now former, which still sounds odd to me?
It sounds odd to me too. 43 years of coaching, it will be odd for a while, but you know.
That is Gary Williams today, Julie, in College Park, a place he knows well. He is the host of the Melwood Prince George's County Open, and frankly, I know he is still getting used to this. I think we're all still getting used to the fact that Gary Williams is the former, now legendary, head coach of the Maryland Terrapins. Hey everybody, we are Parker and Parker. I'm Alex.
I'm Julie. As soon as we started seeing those graphics go up that said former Maryland coach Gary Williams, it just sort of made you cringe a little bit.
Especially for you, and you're a Maryland Terrapin at heart.
That's right. What a lovely day for golf. I can think of not a finer day to get out there.
It was 111 with the heat index. No, I'll tell you what, these guys were out there. Gary, Eddie Jordan, a whole bunch of them were out there doing just fine.
Bruce Boudreau,
a whole crew came out to support Gary Williams for a good cause.
Let's turn now to the one, the only, the former Maryland men's basketball coach, Gary Williams. It's good to see you there, Coach.
Good to be here.
Tell us about this tournament. Let's start with that.
Well, the tournament's part of the Champions Tour, and it's a great thing for the University of Maryland to be a part of it. And it's for the Melwood charity, which does so many great things in the area of our university. So we got this thing started last year, and we just thought we'd continue it this year.
Coach, I was out there this morning. I talked to you briefly before you went off. Every camera there was focused on you. Every golf swing you took, every practice swing you took, you were the guy. A, what does that feel like? I imagine it must be somewhat disconcerting when people watch you play golf.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Is it really odd to have a bunch of cameras and reporters watching every swing you make today out there?
Oh yeah, that was kind of out of my element. You know, I looked over as I was teeing it up and saw all these cameras. So, you know, I don't mind that at a basketball game, but not many people want to take pictures of my golf swing.
Once we found out the news had broken that you were stepping down as head coach at Maryland, I went down to Bentley's on Route 1 and interviewed the owner, John Brown, who's known you, he said, pretty much since the day you showed up in College Park. And he said he was sort of relieved for you that you had made this decision and that he expected you'd spend a lot of time with your golf clubs and with your grandchildren. In what order right now is that taking place?
Well, I think every coach has a tough decision to make just in terms of when it's the right time. There's probably not a right time, but I'm in a good situation where I can do some other things right now, and hopefully I'll enjoy them like I enjoyed being a basketball coach for a long time. And people like John Brown were so important to the success of our program, and John was probably the first friend I had coming here to Maryland 22 years ago.
Coach, I told you about this earlier today, but I want our viewers to hear it. A former colleague of mine, an adult male, this is not a child, said to me about a week after you announced your retirement, I caught up with him, I said, hey dude, what'd you make of Gary's decision? He went, it still hurts, and he said, your best legacy, he went to Maryland, is that you made it cool and fun to be a Maryland Terrapin again following what happened in the mid-'80s. I can't imagine a better compliment for a coach.
Well, it's a lot of people said nice things, and I really appreciate it. What I tried to do in coaching was to, you know, as a coach, you have a great chance to teach, and you're teaching the game of basketball, but also people are learning about, you know, how to live, and you change a lot from 18 to 22 years old. So I always felt that was part of the deal, where you did the best you can with all of your players.
Whenever anyone makes a huge decision, it's hard to not second guess yourself. Have you ever, since you made the decision, looked back and said, am I doing the right thing?
Excuse me? I couldn't hear that.
Have you second-guessed yourself at all in your decision to step down?
I never second-guessed myself as a coach, so I wouldn't second-guess my decision. I thought about this a long time. This wasn't just a one-week decision. This has been a couple years in the making, and if you look around the country in Division I coaching, there's not many people coaching over 66 years old, so I feel like I'm very fortunate to have done what I've done.
Coach, a lot of other coaches and former coaches, Eddie Jordan, Bruce Boudreau, they came out today to support your event today. What's it like to have their support, and did you get to talk with those guys at all?
I couldn't hear you. This is not a great connection, so I couldn't hear.
I'll try one more time. Did you get to talk with Bruce Boudreau, Eddie Jordan, any of the other coaches out there today with you?
Yeah, I did get a chance to talk to both Eddie Jordan and Bruce Boudreau, and I played golf with Bruce before, and I just think he's one of the great coaches. When you're in coaching, you study other coaches. You just don't study basketball coaches. And both Eddie Jordan and Bruce Boudreau, those guys can coach, so it's good to have them as your friends.
Coach, former coach, Gary Williams, thank you so much for joining us here on Parker & Parker. We appreciate your time.
Well, thank you for having me, and we go again tomorrow in another Pro-Am, so I'm looking forward to that.
We'll see you out there. We'll film every one of your swings, Coach. I wanted the viewers at home to know that first drive on number 1, right just down the middle.
Just don't pick me up to the second or third hole tomorrow, okay?
Coach, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. Okay.
Well, next up, it is popular forum or fundraising for some worthy causes, but this guy's taking it to another level entirely. We'll meet the man who's helping out our forgotten veterans, and he's doing it one step at a time, literally. We'll be right back.
I want to do something to help all these military families that are struggling, but what could I do? And I got inspired to just walk from town to town, city to city across America.
Julie, that is Troy Yocum. That's a shot of his wife and his 2 dogs. Troy has decided, he is an Iraqi war veteran, that he wants to help veterans in need. So he is walking 7,000, count them, 7,000 miles across this country. He is in Washington as we speak. He threw out the first pitch at the Nats game. Troy Yocum joins us via the phone line. Troy, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for having me.
You didn't walk today or yesterday, did you, Troy?
No, the heat. Can you imagine?
No, that's why I ask.
Troy, how did this?
I have a couple days off for the Memorial Day weekend, obviously. But we went to a lot of the events, and yes, we were at the Washington Nationals game also, raising funds to help more families, not only in the local area, but I'm staring at a picture right now of a National Guard family's house, or I should say what's left of it, in Joplin, Missouri. And they're one of the next families that we are looking to help. It's amazing to look at this picture. There's nothing left.
And how do you find the veterans who you help? There's so many to choose from. How do you zero in on the ones you're helping?
I guess that's one of the challenges, definitely. I've been approached by so many families that need help. Imagine 2 years ago, I came up with this idea to walk across America and help these families. And I had this idea in my head of just how bad the problem was for military families across America. Now, after walking across and back for the last 14 months, I've met hundreds of thousands of military families, each with a similar story of joblessness and mental issues, financial issues. There's so many families that need help. It's hard for me to choose what little funds we have raised and where they're going to go. And when I see a story like this, I see a complete town wiped off the face of it. I wanted something to help the family, so as much as some of the other families we've been helping recently with other tornadoes.
Troy, it sounds like your cell's getting shaky, but hang where you are for 1 sec. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me get this straight. You started in Louisville, went to San Diego, went to New Orleans, now D.C. We caught up with you at a Modell Sporting Goods in Bethesda on Friday. From here, where do you go?
Well, I'm heading all the way out of Washington, D.C. just in 2 days, starting on June 2nd. making my way all the way up to Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City on June 15th, where we got a huge announcement on that day from New York City all the way to Boston, then Boston all the way back to Louisville, Kentucky for the finish line on September 3rd.
Troy, there's no way that little Chihuahua is doing the walk. There's no way.
There's no way. Harley, actually, she's laying here beside me. She just got through surgery today. We had surgery, a veterinarian donated a surgery for her teeth to pull all her baby teeth out. She's been struggling with mouth problems lately. But the little Chihuahua has done pretty well. She's completed 61 miles across America.
What is the greatest number of miles you'll do on any given day?
37 was the greatest, and we had pushed for quite a distance. At almost 13,000 feet above sea level in Colorado, I got kidney stones. And this is the worst part of the hike completely, because I had to spend a couple of days in the hospital, a couple of weeks of healing, and then I was behind every single day, another 20 miles. So we had to try to catch back up. Going on the backside of the mountains down to Grand Junction, we finally did, and we had to do 30-mile day after 30-mile day.
And we complain because it's hot out.
Really?
You know?
Hey, Troy, tell people about your website. It is Drum Hike, because in the beginning of the trip, you were banging a drum there, and we can see it on our screen. It is literally counting your steps.
That is correct. So, step by step, I've been making my way across America. Definitely in the beginning, I was drumming a lot. After neck and shoulder problems, I've been drumming a lot less. Still bringing out for major city appearances, some of the baseball games. It was a fantastic experience to spend Memorial Day at the Washington National Stadium. And, of course, tomorrow we're going to be at the Staybridge Suites in Chantilly for a fundraiser at 11 a.m. We even got a couple of sponsors bringing free food, so you can come and donate your lunch money and eat for free.
Wow. Troy Yocum, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you're doing for those folks out there that mean really everything to all of us, because without you and without them, we're not safe and sound the way we are so luckily accustomed to. Thanks, my man.
I so appreciate it, and if it weren't for companies like Modell Sporting Goods for coming on, I don't think we'd be helping any family. So it's a big thing for Modell's to come on towards the end of the hike and help us out.
Cool.
Troy, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I've done the walk to help raise money for breast cancer, and that's 39 miles in 2 days, and you complain and it hurts and you have blisters and it's hard to walk. That's nothing. It's nothing.
His wife, who you saw in the video, she rides alongside with support and keeps him as healthy and hydrated, the whole deal. It's a wonderful cause.
Well, just ahead, we are joined by a very special guest. The man whose name is synonymous with the show, the one, the only, Glenn Harris. He's live in studio and he's looking good with Parker and Parker. Comes right back.
As you've noticed on SportsTalk, we've changed a little bit. One of the changes or additions is to take
that is Glenn Harris. By the way, Parker, we might get a bicep shot here. Look at our man. Here's our deal.
I got a black beard then. Oh, my goodness gracious, yeah.
This set we're on, we borrow it once a week, and we are so thankful that Glenn Harris loans it to us. Hopefully we haven't sullied the place. Glenn's been out for a while.
Terry went back deep. He went back in the archives.
This is from before before World War I, Glenn
That's
Harris.
right, man. I had a black beard and everything. Look.
Glenn Harris, this is your show. This is your set.
Hey, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
We are so glad that you're here with us.
Yeah.
You've been away for a while.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank everybody here, all my friends, fans, whatever. I had a stroke. And sometime when you get into certain age groups, all of the things that your dad had, your mom had, and everything, genetic things hit you. I'm a sleek 229 now. And my son walked up to me one day and said, "Pop, why you have all those muscles? You don't need them. You're 64 years old." Yeah, and me and Gary almost about the same age. It's funny because he's leaving out of there. I'm still trying to get back, And he said, "You don't play any more ball, lose all those muscles." but I didn't know I was sick. So when I was losing weight, my diabetic condition, which is now really improved. So, you know, sometimes when you get stress on you a little bit, you do some crazy things. You don't take your medicine. You don't do what you're supposed to do. My blood pressure was off the chain. My diabetes was off the chain, and I just went down. But the remarkable thing, guys, they said, hey, your health and fitness saved your life, because I always took care of myself. It's just that when I would get depressed, I go get 2 quarts of custard.
Of what custard?
Custard.
And eat them.
There were worse things than custard, I think.
Well, I never did any drinking, smoking, drugging, none of that stuff in my life. So at the end of the week, the 2 quarts were gone, then I go get some more. And when you're susceptible to something and you're on the line, you can cross over, and that's what happened to me.
Tell us what happened once you got the diagnosis, because the moments after you have a stroke are so critical that you get treated. What happened with you?
I was sitting on my front porch. I was going to Gaithersburg for this memorabilia show. I was supposed to be getting an award. And I saw these colors, and some of you may know what I'm talking about. These colors were coming out of my eyes. Well, some pretty colors, but this ain't normal. So I sat there and I called one of my fraternity brothers from college. He's a doctor. So I told him what was going on. He said, man, get your butt in the hospital. Call my son. My son was there in, 10 minutes. So I walked across the street to my neighbor's house, and I was feeling I wasn't feeling that bad, but I was like, whoa. I actually started getting it here because my producer, Terry Cornwell, I was telling him, you know, I got these colors coming out of my eyes. I didn't know what it was. And I felt like I was walking up the hill and I was walking down the hill. God, man, what's happening with me, you know? But the remarkable thing is I never lost anything. My head was still good. I was speaking good, and they were shocked. And the guy said my health and fitness is what really overall saved my life, because at my age group, I probably could have crumbled up pretty bad. And, you know, I'm not a very religious person, but I think the big boy smacked me in the head a little bit and said, hey, calm down a little bit. And I couldn't see for 3 weeks. The most humbling experience I've ever had. When you can't see and you've been used to doing things and you have to have people wait on you, it was amazing, man. I kept my sense of humor. Every now and then I get a little PO'd and say something stupid, but I'd apologize. But
temporary blindness.
Yeah, it was like you had an unfocused camera, or I would have like Vaseline on your eyes. Alex, I appreciate what you told me, man. Alex called me one day and said, look, man, if you need me, I'll come and get you and take you somewhere if you need to go. He didn't have to say that, man. Leon called the other day. I got calls from all over the country. People, I couldn't even call everybody because I couldn't even see the phone to call them back. So I am blessed and happy to be living. And I'm cool, man. I'm ready to get back and rock and roll, as we say in this business, you know.
It's good to have you back. Yeah. You look great.
This is my 39th year in the business, almost be 40 years next year. And still having a good time. Believe me, I don't lift heavy weights anymore. I just do little dumbbells now, try to get back in shape. But overall, I went to my blood sugar is on target. My blood pressure was good today. So I just think overall, since I did take care of myself all those years, it helped me. On my body, I said, jumped into plan B. So my body had to, you know, my immune system had to take care of me, and it did.
Well, good to have you back.
I appreciate you, Jules.
You're not going away. You stay here for this last 5 minutes.
I'll be, okay.
Coming up, we're putting the wraps on this reunion edition of Parker and Parker, and you'll find out why too much enthusiasm for the job might be a distraction, but highly entertaining for us. We'll be right back. Make sure you join us on the radio on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on 106.7 The Fan. We take your calls, your texts, your tweets, all of that stuff. We're on Twitter at Parker and Parker, and Facebook as well. Just search our names.
Okay, a couple things we need to check out here. French Open today. Watch the left of your screen, the ball boy that came in prematurely. Okay, and then the player, though, was very angry because he had to play the point over again. They called it let points, and he wasn't real happy. I believe the player's name is Victor Troitsky.
Look at him.
Look at him. By the way, the guy that got mad, he lost the match.
Well, that's what you get.
And the kid, they've thrown the kid out. I'm kidding.
Dodger Stadium.
Okay, I'm not the best father in the world, but I wouldn't do this to my daughter.
Oh, man.
Here comes the foul ball.
So he tossed
Sorry,
her.
Allie.
He tossed her.
He tossed her.
But then he hugs her. And she looks like she slugged him.
She's a little angry. She's a little angry. He just said, here comes the foul ball. I'll just drop you.
He could have said, I was trying to protect you.
He was trying to protect you. Back to semi-seriousness here. We are Parker and Parker with the man of the hour, Glenn Harris.
Hey, man.
It is good to have you back. You will be back soon.
You tell me when.
I've gotten more calls in the sports office from people. What happened to Glenn Harris? Where's Glenn Harris? I can't wait to see him again. I don't know if you know how much you mean to so many people.
I appreciate it. I tell you, Terry must have went back in the archives to get those,
That's
get
what
those
it
highlights.
was.
That thing, my man.
Those days are over now. I'm thin
Thank
now.
you to Glenn. Thank you to all of you for watching. Thank you to Joe Corey and Facia Luna for another great dinner. We love the Trenton. Check them out the next time you're in Arlington. And check us out Sunday, 106.7 The Fan.